So today we'll read the divine masculine energy. So, like I was explaining to Charu about the energy between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So another thing, the reason why I'm reading the divine masculine energy today is because there was a post on Facebook which said something about the twin flames, isn't it? Like someone had written something to us saying that, like, hope this twin flame thing stops in 2020 because it's too much. Or, it was written by someone who was not a twin flame, and when I did go check the page of the person, it clearly showed that the person was not a twin flame, and as well as like who was just into awakening. And our awakening, the twin flames awakening, is way different and special and um, powerful, and we are connected to source way quicker, um, more fast. It's like we're born with a purpose kind of a thing, like than normally knowing about. Ours was a very spontaneous awakening. I think none of the twin flames sat down and meditated and wanted to be a twin flame or wanted to be connected to source or the ambition of being enlightened or awakened and anything like that. So we all were in different phases of life, and if you go to see every divine feminine and very successful, very strong beings who are in fact overachieving in our own um, way and walks of life, isn't it? So us finding this journey and like being a part of it was um, beyond our control and beyond our imagination as well. So this journey is only understood by twins who are going through this, and no one can um, come forward and say something about it. Not even our twins, they can't nullify certain things because we go through that in a very deep way, and that's the reason it's very important to learn about the journey more, to understand that everything is what you're going through and you're going through and why you cannot get over with this person. If it was anyone else, it was just like the snap of a finger, we are out. And why not with this person? And who is this person and why is the trigger? And learning about the journey and learning about yourself is very important. So the divine masculine energy, what's happening right now in the beginning of the 2020 energy, is that um, they're showing before tapping into the energy and speaking about it, I just wanted to explain about the energy that we've been in, the energy that divine feminine have been in for a long time. And there are two kinds of energy. One is our conscious energy, our conscious effort to be in alignment and learning the laws of the universe and the energy and experiencing it. I think everyone has experienced energy being on the twin flame journey. It's way different than what you hear and talked about before your awakening. So we experience energy. So that energy, that speaks about our conscious energy, our consciously, being in alignment, healing, and all of that falls in your conscious energy. Another one to understand with the twin flame awakening is a twin flame bond. So this is when you segregate it, when you separate these two. So one is your conscious effort. I think the divine feminine have been consciously healing, which you have to keep healing and understanding the bond better, healing and understanding and healing, and like pulling yourself out of the purge, pulling yourself out of the purge and like healing. All of that is a conscious effect of healing. And the other one is a twin flame bond, which is not part of any other awakening. This bond, and I was talking to Dara the other day, I was just telling her that we are whole with our twins energy. You're not whole and complete without their energy. If you separate your twins energy from your energy field, there is no bliss. For example, if you see a butterfly and if you're seeing a flower and if you're connected to something and feeling happy, whether or not you realize it, your energy is twined with his energy. So when you try to separate his energy, there is no bliss or peace for the divine feminine. And that's how connected we are. So the maturity is first knowing about this conscious understanding of energy, the conscious effort, the conscious healing, being grateful, and all of that builds up your conscious energy. The energy of the 2020 is highlighted the twin flame bond energy. Everything that you worked for, everything that you worked for. So before beginning to this year, beginning of this year, and before that, everything was conscious energy. It was always about conscious energy. For example, I'll give you an example about when in the beginning of the journey we did not have a maturity, emotional maturation wasn't there, isn't it? When we were in the bubble phase or in the beginning of the separation, there wasn't emotional maturity of moving away from your twin. First, you didn't know how, we didn't know how to heal and how to come out of that energy, right? And the next one was the twin flame bond. The bond, the special connection that you feel towards this person was so painful, isn't it? So when you wanted to separate, the separation was very difficult. But separation is an illusion, isn't it? You're already one with that person. So to understand that there is no separation with that, we are whole with our twins energy. So there was two things. One was the twin flame bond itself, which was heavy and we didn't understand that before. Another one was conscious effort. We did not have any understanding about how to purge. So consciously we have purged, consciously we have healed, and we've reached this place of maturity. And now it talks about the second energy, the twin flame bond, understanding it better, all that understanding that we had. But now in 2020 energy, twin flame bond is like on a higher scale. The second energy, this bond energy, is like bringing up the union energy. So it's speeding up your twin flame bond energy. So when I was saying in the beginning of the journey, when when you're in that separation phase, like I said, you do not have an understanding of what was going on, isn't it? So at that time, if at all you knew, there were two things which was happening. So whenever we were getting triggered in the beginning of the journey, one thing, we wanted to separate from this person, isn't it? We had too much of it and they had a life, and it was so much so that we wanted our own life with another person or without another person. We needed our sanity, and the bond, we didn't understand the bond then. And another one was like the emotional maturity. Of why I'm repeating these words is that uh, talks about a human in nature. We did not know that. For me, I didn't even know anything, that anything and everything was energy, and there was gratitude, and like we all were connected, this unity consciousness. So we did not have any understanding of that. So there are two bonds. One was that um, us, we did not have the emotional capacity to come out of the pain. Another one was, when you talk about the bond, we wanted to separate ourselves from that pain. We wanted to separate from that person. We wanted our own life and our own, healing and our own purpose, and concentrate on what we can do, isn't it? That was how immature of energy we were. We did not know that. But now having that understanding, so 2020, when you're stepping into your twin flame journey, especially on the onset of this 2020 energy, you need to have or reach the place of maturation of understanding that you're a twin soul, that you're whole with your twins energy. You need to understand that there is no separation of it. So no matter what that is, you have to have the maturity about your, because of way you feel. For example, like I said in the beginning, if there was a little trigger, you wanted to separate energy from him and move on, isn't it? Not knowing that you were whole together. But that's not the case, and we've gone to that over and over. So as soon as you separate from that energy, you feel good for 2-3 minutes, but then immediately you fall back in love, isn't it? So this journey has taught us that. So immediately falling back in love is because you're a twin flame, and we all understand that scenario and the case and the trigger at that moment. But right now you need to understand that, like, you cannot separate your energy from that person, and you are whole with his energy. So more, if you carry that energy and being in a content whole place, even you being whole is with your twins energy. So always being in a place of whole about it, there is no hatred, and that person is not a trigger. He's not a person to be hated, and they're just helping us form the connect to our goddess energies and be whole and content. So the 2020 energy, you need to reach that place of maturation, that rather than like separating your energy from the person and falling back in love, separating in energy and falling back in love and regretting everything, isn't it? So this energy 2020 is all about one is the conscious energy, energy maturation of knowing how to come out of a purge. Another energy is a bond, the twin flame bond. So understanding that, and um, being loved irrespective of what, and being in a content place. So when you kind of like start releasing this pain energy and like being in more happy, beautiful, whole place, only good can come out of good. I think Dara taught us, did tell me this last time when I went through that energy, but yeah, only good can come out of good. So that's what I'm saying, like me, Charu, and Dara as well. The pain is real. Like I said, no one else can understand this journey better than the twins do. Um, so that's very important. Only good can come out of good. So be in a very high hold energy and come out of it. So this is the two things you need to understand, and especially for this 2020 energy for the divine masculine and the divine feminine, the energy that I'm seeing is that there are triggers which are like arising between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, just the way that it started in the beginning of the journey. But in the beginning of the journey, we did not have the maturity to pull ourselves up, always getting scared of the thoughts whether he will run back again. He's always done this to me, and many fears about, why should I have met him, So why did I ever meet him? Rather than, like all of those fears and doubts, which in the beginning of the journey caused more distance between both of you, though there was love between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now reaching this, now coming back to the same energy again in 2020, the twin flame bond energy, which is like increasing, it's creating triggers and creating deeper connections. It's creating energy of longing between both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But now we have the power to rise above all of the fears and pain and being content and surrendering everything to the universe. And very important thing, not separating your energy from that your twin, because you are whole with your twin's energy. So every bliss, every time you feel happiness, it's because your energy is twined together. So helping you, and as and when you focus this energy, you start coming back together, and only good comes out of good, and being content will start attracting. Um, Being whole, when you're whole, you start attracting. So everything starts fading, and your twin starts responding, and everything, more of it being about the union. I think for the divine feminine, it should be, it is a wholeness that you have to experience. For all the pain that we've gone through, to experience wholeness is the greatest bliss. So experiencing the wholeness and knowing that the wholeness, um, being in this journey for a long time, and like knowing the wholeness within ourselves is them being a part of us as well. So understanding it in a very clear way, rather than like falling in and out, falling in and out, falling in and out. So now understanding wholeness and understanding that energy is everything, and once you're content and whole and love, it solves everything. So that's the energy of the divine masculine and the 2020 energy. Thank you.